Hello. If you'll pardon the mess, I'd like to tell you about how my last weekend went. It was actually pretty neat. I went out to, I think it was Downfall 8 up at Skirmish Paintball in Albrightsville, PA. I am about 2.5 hours away. I drove up, drove back. I took a lot of lessons that I learned from Final Order 2 from OTP back in October. I didn't push myself too hard. I brought too much water this time. And in fact, it was pretty cold, so I didn't sweat and lose a whole bunch of water like I did. But a lot of people don't care about that. More people care about this Kelly 2 right here. So we're going to go over a couple of things. I just wanted to tell everybody how it went with this, how it actually worked. The answer, in short, I was happy with it. But the complicated answer is it needs a lot of work. So from my own, it sounds kind of like full of myself, but from my own craftsmanship perspective, everything works the way it was intended to work. Unfortunately, it being a 10-year-old AK inside of here, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. I knew this was a long time coming. The AK itself works great for like backyard games and little stuff and really close quarters, but when you have the rule being that the MED is 60 feet, it kind of is terrible when you're shooting low in the chrono. So my plan is, and this is one of many things I think I need to do with this to make an actual decent gun, is get a new AK. I've always been more of a hardware guy versus a software guy. And that is in terms of like, I can build shells like this, but when it comes to teching and internal stuff, I think I'm scarred from when I was younger. I took apart a plastic gearbox when I was like 16 and everything blew apart, exploded, and it was like my only gun at the time. So I learned to not ever do that again. And I guess I got kind of scared myself out of it. So I need to get over that and actually start working on my stuff. And I have worked on my M4 and made it worse. So that's another reason I don't usually work on my own stuff. I haven't bought a new airsoft gun in, I'd say, brand new, like from the factory, probably about 8 years, I think, maybe 7. I think that was my Crytek CRB Alpha, which is the one that I ruined. So, but we're gonna move on from that. I just wanted to go through a couple of the strengths of this thing. It's got everything that an LMG needs except for like range and power. It has, the capacity was great. Sustained fire, great. In fact, I think we're still going to go with MagFed because the tube feed, it did work for about 5 minutes, and then it didn't want to feed anymore. It got jammed up. Now that's on me partially because I went cheap with it. I bought like a $40 replacement winder. It did what it was supposed to do for 40 bucks, and then I gave up. So we're gonna have to go with like Bull Gear or something a little bit better, unfortunately, for that. And I have that down here, and I'll show you guys that too. Pardon the mess. I'll try to work around it. My, I guess, creative process doesn't really allow me any time to clean up, because it's kind of like, when I have an idea, let's put this down, pick this up, and then I spend like 5 minutes finding it or trying to find it. If I take the time to put it away in the right place, I forget what I was doing. So that's not ideal, but it's my process and I'm dealing with it. So, but yeah, the range and power on this thing is definitely in need of an overhaul. The capacity is great. With the drum, I didn't have to reload at all. In fact, I think I didn't really use that much. And I'll tell you why. It's because by the time I got around to using the drum, it was for like a secret squirrel type thing where we were sneaking around enemy lines, and for me to open fire with this bad boy would mean like certain death for the squad because it's loud, because everybody else's guns are like suppressed HPA, so they can take guys out quietly, whereas if I shoot, I'm giving away everybody's position. So I had to wait until the last minute to do anything with it. So, and that's fine, I understand that. Plus the range, I knew what I had to do, just stay low and quiet until they got real close, and then I can light them up, which is great. So I will tell you that it was a lot of fun. I think that the event organizer did a great job. They have this like the squads system where I think a lot of people do it now, where you have to stay with your squad throughout everything. You have to respawn with your squad. You follow your squad around basically after you die. I don't know exactly how that works, or if that's how it's supposed to work, but that's kind of what everybody did. I like that. I thought that was pretty neat. That way you don't just, go, come back, because that can like defeat your morale. That can like really reduce, like, if you're by yourself and you have nobody you're attacking with, at least nobody you know, excuse me, and everybody else is like really tired. It's not fun for anybody. So, I do want to say that we did lose, although I didn't really care about that because I had so much fun. I started the day out, and it was really cold. Started the day out with Alice gear and everything green, and I don't usually have any green gear. So I had to use civilian like pants. I had to buy new pants for it, but it was all civilian stuff. And I had to get an old jacket of mine. So that was okay. It looked pretty cool. The Alice was great. It was comfy, way more comfortable than like the 60 pounds of crap that I piled on myself for Final Order 2, where I was on the tan team. So that was a lesson learned. That was way better than anything else. Really happy about it. So, trying to think. I started the day with the M4, and it was at the direction of my friend Ben, who told me that I should probably just run the M4 until we find a spot for the MG to set up, because the intent was to use the MG as like an indirect fire weapon. That didn't pan out like we thought it would, because obviously it doesn't have the range or the power. But when you arc it, funny enough, it does do the job, as one would expect. It's just a matter of like, I need to stay in this spot at this axis. I can't move the gun around a whole lot, but I need to stay at this axis and just kind of fine tune it and see where I need to shoot to get people's heads down. And that's kind of what I did. But before I was able to do that, I only could get, I got out with my M4. We got pretty far. We got up to, I think we got past the Titman town. We went up to the castle. That's where we all got, and then walked back. Again, I didn't really go that hard. I wasn't trying to push that hard. And, I paid to be there. I'm not going to destroy myself. Plus, I had to drive home. So, I'm not going to risk myself like that again, because that really hurt after that, the first recap that I did. So, hopefully this won't be like an hour like the last one, but we'll see. The second time I went out, I brought the MG and the backpack with, go through that here, the backpack with the tripod and the ammo can. So this has not only, set that off to the side, I think the pintle mount is up here. The pintle's neat. I made that, obviously besides the bolts, made that by hand, just bent that piece of metal, drilled everything. That goes right here on the gun. It allows you to slide it into the tripod, as I've already shown in another video. The tripod itself works. Everything, for the most part, worked as it should have. This I set up on top of a barrier, a little bit too high, I think, but I wanted it to be extra high so that I have something tall to hide behind. Unfortunately, that kind of worked against me, because as I was trying to pull it in and out of the hole, the pintle, it was getting stuck. So like when I would start taking fire, it would be hard to pull it out. So maybe that's something, maybe we need to get like just a bolt with the shoulder and just cut off the threads and replace that with this, which I think I have some in my box over here. So I might do that, which would be neat, but I have to figure out, Anyway, that's for another day. It was surprisingly lightweight and compact. I like that a lot. Let's see. The ammo can, and I like that everything fit in this bag. I'm glad that I found something that was the proper color and the proper size for everything. So, ammo can, still really full, as you can tell, as you can probably hear. This worked until it didn't. Like I said before, worked for about 5 minutes, and then just jammed up. Just didn't want to go. So it needs an upgrade, but I'm not trying to put a ton of stock into this system. I think they work, and for guys that have run them a lot, they can work very well. I just like the flexibility of the little drum more. I usually don't run out of ammo during any engagement up until I get shot, at which point I'm going back for ammo anyway. So I don't really usually need this much, because if you sit in one place, and this is why people don't usually do this with the airsoft guns, if you sit in one place for too long with enough ammo, with a stationary weapon, guess what happens? You don't have real world range. You've got guys that can like look at you, bare eyes, like naked eye, no magnification, and see, oh, that guy's got a support weapon, I better shoot him. And a lot of times they can shoot further than your support weapon can, which is the reason, I'm guessing, a lot of people don't do this. And, you know, besides the fact that it's kind of probably pretty costly to get bona fide support weapons out in the field. And it's kind of a catch-22 because it's airsoft, you know. Most of your guns in airsoft are going to just, your M4 is going to be enough most of the time. So I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to work on it. So, but yeah, the gun, besides a couple of loose parts and pieces, worked really well. The hardware itself on it, excuse me, it's magnetized, yeah, motor. So the this is just held on the pistol grip with the lag bolt. I'll need to tighten that. It's starting to twist. It wants to twist. I'm trying to think if there was any other things. I think the barrel needs to be tightened a little bit into this connector. It's just an electrical EMT connector. A lot of these I just got. They're spare parts. They're not going to be used anywhere else. In case my boss sees this. So, but yes, biggest thing overall is that needs a new internal gun. After that, we can start talking about other things. But until then, I don't want to do anything else to it. And a new gun, I think, would run me about $250 tops, because I want to get another SEMA AK. And that's because I really appreciate the longevity of the one that I have right here. It's still, for as bad as it is, it's still a pretty decent gun. I can still get close to guys, and because it's an MG, I can be 60 feet away and spray you. And most fields, you can only use semi with a rifle class, right? So if I run this as an MG, I have that upper hand, and I enjoy that upper hand. It doesn't matter to me as much that it's a little bit heavier, because it's not that heavy. The body here is aluminum. This is steel up here, but it's been drilled out a lot. And the gun itself is only about, I'd say, 6 pounds or so. With the drum mag, it's a little bit more, but still not too bad. It's, you know, it's hefty, but I don't think it's anywhere near as heavy as the real thing. It's not like 20 pounds like the real thing is supposed to be. So that is nice. Another thing that I need to work on with this guy is going to be the battery. And that's on me. I need to get an AK that is like LiPo ready. 2 reasons. One, I need to start getting into LiPo and getting over that fear. My fear with those is I've heard a lot of stories about them catching fire, burning up. The last thing I want to happen to one of these, you know, custom built things is for a battery to catch fire inside of it and it's gone. You know, I could probably build another one, but I don't have a lot of time or motivation left after a long day at work. So it's, you know, something I need to protect. So the 9.6 volt nunchuck that I've been using, it fits pretty nicely inside the compartment here. I had 3 of these. I actually had one that I bought specially for Kelly #1. Excuse me. It's a higher voltage. No, sorry. It's not a higher voltage. It's a higher milliamp hour. So supposedly it's like 2200, so it would go for longer. I think these are 1600. That, unfortunately, is the only battery that had any ass behind it, unfortunately. The other 2 batteries did not have anything going for them. So that is gonna have to be improved on. I have to get new batteries. Other than that, the electrical system that I designed and built for this thing works great. It did everything that I needed it to do. The button, when I pressed it, worked great. The the feeder works. The drum mag works. I love that fact, because on the old one I had to run that wire all the way back here and just tape it on there. And that wasn't working out. That thing got, I think I said in the last recap, it got crushed. So But yeah, that's enough about this thing. We've talked enough about this thing. Now, if you don't want to watch the rest of this video, I understand. But I want to talk about the rest of my experience at this field. It's my first time at skirmish. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Staff was great. The organizer was great. Didn't have any problems. Nobody was really, aggressive or angry. We all just kind of understood, games don't always go your way sometimes. But the best thing that happened to me during that day was just the fact, besides the fact that I was able to play with a whole bunch of friends, good guys, was just the fact that we were going and doing secret squirrel stuff. We responded as a squad. We got, and we went, I think, we were the green team. We went all the way out around the outer edge of the area. And we were just quietly sneaking by. And anytime we saw somebody get close to us, if they weren't a threat, we'd leave them go. We wanted to get behind the lines. And we did. We went all the way around, back behind the castle, back behind everything, almost to their spawn, but not at their spawn. We didn't want to go in spawn camp. I hate when people do that to me. I don't want to do that to other people. So, we found a position in a rock field around some pine trees, and I was in the back because obviously I'm not going to be taking point with this thing and getting us all killed. So we had like two snipers, the sniper team in the front with their scopes. One had a DMR, one had a bolt action. They were great at spotting people and taking them out quietly because they had, again, HPA guns with suppressors on them, which is great. They're awesome for a lot of things. Something if I ever fall into a ton of money and I don't need it for stuff, that'd be something I'd be very interested in doing. But until then, I don't have the time or money to get into it. So, but that rock field was our last stand, unfortunately. Right before that, we had two other guys that weren't in our squad coming up behind us that were on our team. They just brought up the rear. They helped us out by keeping our rear covered. We came into contact a little bit. We were able to leave the area. We left those two guys behind to try to pick them off. I don't know what happened to them. God bless them, for being there, because we didn't get attacked from that side for a little bit yet, so they must have been doing something right. We were able to get close to where they were walking by, not at their spawn, but between their spawn and the castle, and they were just picking them off. Like the guys in front, everybody that had a suppressed anything was just picking them off. I chose a little position in the rock field where I could just dig in low, and I had about 8 inches of rock all the way around me. So I was like in a little crater kind of with this guy. I don't have anything special on me, no grenades, no launchers, just this guy. So we started getting encroached upon. People started flanking us from all sides. I was like, we can shoot in any direction we want and be okay. So it's didn't work out that way, unfortunately. I got one dude, one guy who said he didn't even see where I was, didn't even see me there. But people kept sending shots my way. They were bouncing off in front of me. I thought I thought I'd been made. So I was like, how do I get this guy? He must have a beat on me, when the whole time it was just them accidentally hitting near me. So I popped up, got him. I tried to maneuver, I forget what exactly I was trying to do. I think I was trying to cover another guy that needed to get medicked. And at that point, unfortunately, I'd already been shot once way back before that. So I only had one, I had a tourniquet on. I was only one life away from being gone. So unfortunately, when I was trying to retreat back to where my other guys were and get back to them, I got shot in the back. Bad idea for me to, not face my enemy. It is what it is. So, yeah, that was a long walk back to spawn, but I made it a point to walk through, like, a lot of tan territory to show them that hey, we made it, we made it behind your lines. Look at that. So I heard from the other guys that they, at one point they got so tired of being shot at that they kind of just were hoping to get shot. Which that, if anything, says how good they are, at getting back there and staying alive, which is great. I think that's really cool, that we were all able to get back there. It was like, I think a group of, 6 or 8 of us. And we would just move back there, guy in front gets down, everybody gets down. We all have radio headsets on, except for the other 2 guys that were behind us that weren't in our squad. That was a great way. That, I think, if you don't have that, you might as well not play. It's just a great tool to have, like a little push to talk and a headset. fantastic tool. Mine was like 30 bucks on Amazon, works fine. You don't need to be, you know, money bags to get that stuff. So after that, we were all pretty tired. I went back to spawn. I linked up with like half of our original squad, and they were guys that got left behind, unfortunately, after the original push. They were, we had, I think it was myself and another machine gun and 2 riflemen, one of whom was doing, I think, communications or support of some kind the whole day and just wanted to get out there and play. Green team, I don't know. I'm not here to like judge anybody, but I was, you know, it just seemed like nobody wanted to push after a while. I get it, you know, it's a game. If this is the real thing, you know, though, you'd probably all be dead. So, but yeah, we got up there. It was the end of the day. Everybody's tired. We're trying to take the town because we got pushed back pretty far. I tried pushing, got shot right away. I was able to arc my shots with this guy and get a couple of people's heads down, although I don't think I actually got anybody out. But it was fun to watch people get their heads down. You know, at least that's kind of what this thing is for. On the side note, though, base of fire only really works if you've got other guys maneuvering. You know, it's maneuver without fire is suicide, and fire without maneuver is just wasting ammo. Like, it's an old saying. So we had the fire, but no maneuver. And I got shot after a couple of, I think, a minute or two, excuse me, of just shooting at windows and keeping people's heads down. There's like 24 windows looking at me. Of course I'm going to get shot once in a while, you know. And after that, I think my goggles were just fogging up so bad. My X-Fog died. I told another guy my X-Fog died. He was the guy that was just, he's getting cabin fever. He just wanted to get out there. It was like, yeah, just take your MG and just shoot in that direction. And I was like, I was trying, but there was like 8 of them over there, and they were through some bushes. And I was like, I guarantee you my shots are not going to make it through that. So I put my gun up and I tried to see anything to shoot at, because I'm not just going to start shooting because they're going to just get me right away. Well, I got right away anyway. So, and it just happens, you know. But I was impressed overall with the fact that I didn't push myself too hard and destroy my body. I did feel a little bit sore in my legs. I felt a little bit sore in my back from the weight of this and my backpack that I was carrying for a little bit. But I tried to make it a point to not overexert myself, and it worked. So if you can learn anything from that, please do. If not, you probably already know. So, but yeah, that's how the day went. Had a great day. Some great guys to play with. Everybody was all around pretty chill, pretty fun to play with. So, you know, and at the end of the day, it's just a game. You gotta understand that there's nothing serious about it. So, yeah, I think that's it. That's all I'm gonna have time for today. I already did an overview of this whole thing. Like I said before, this is probably gonna be my favorite way to run it. It looks like, you know, like Frankenstein's monster, but I like it, you know, it's my baby. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.